on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, Tobago, and welcome back to yet another morning with Tobago Updates. It's Youth Wednesdays. We are happy to have you. We want to welcome all of yours on AMPLIA 102, YouTube, and Facebook Live. This morning, I am joined with none other than my lovely host,
Natalia Nancis. Good morning to you, Renessa. Good morning to Tobago Updates. Good morning to our Youth Wednesday fans, I should say, or the paparazzi on the side. We see you this morning, and good morning to you all.
Natalia. We have such a good show in store for us this morning. It's all about the youth. It's all about so many unconventional things that we usually don't speak about in the Tobago space. So I'm happy that we're going to be able to shed some light on that this morning. Now, I know before we started and we came on live, we were talking about the whole independence saga. Tell me, what are your thoughts and your views on it? Because there are so many sides to this thing. What are your views?
Well, I think that, something has been set by the central government and there's no argument. I don't think there should be an argument because they have the last say, basically. For Tobago itself, I think that, though some people may want us to have our parade over here, there was a ground set for the Independence Day this year, and that is for a day of prayer. Now, a lot of people are questioning why is Tobago included? Because, over here isn't, seeing as much of what is happening in Trinidad. But at the same time, if central government has set their grounds, then we just have to adhere to what they say.
And not only that, it is still Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct.
We are still governed by the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. And now while I could understand some of the other views in terms of vendors not being able to benefit as they usually would each year, and then there are the persons who would actually be a part of the parade, actually being happy that they got a break. They don't have to faint, they don't have to face the hot sun.
Several posts on social media about people in the service, people in the unarmed contingent. All of them are just so happy just to have that little break this year. So while we might have wanted to support them in the Independence Parade, they're actually happy to have that break,
And not only that, there are some parents who usually look forward to this time to take their children out, to enjoy the parade, to enjoy the waterworks and all of that. But again, it's all up to central government, it's all up to them and what they deem fit for the country.
What I do hope though, sorry to cut you off, we're not having a parade, but the decor, I like to see, the decor going down. It shows us that, independence is here, etc., etc. The flags that line off the highways and the byways, etc. But I'm not seeing anything, although the parade is cancelled and the Independence Day celebrations themselves, I know that the decor would normally go up and it would stay up until Republic Day, etc. So I don't see the need to take out the decor. At least give us the decor. That's my view.
And then there are also people talking about the fact that it's not giving us the opportunity to be patriotic and to celebrate the fact that we are an independent nation. So I think that's one of the key factors that a lot of persons are really bothered about.
Yes. Well, we could always, there is next year, God spare life.
True.
But let's make the best of an Independence Day of prayer, as gently put by the governing bodies.
Thank you, Natalia. And now it's over to News in 90 Seconds with Natalia Nancis.
Thank you, Renessa. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, speaking at a town hall meeting in New York under the theme Bridging the Diaspora, stressed the diaspora's key role in Tobago's growth. Augustine urged Tobagonians abroad to invest in schools, churches, villages, and property, noting that every visit, purchase, or contribution will strengthen Tobago. He noted despite migration, Tobago considers all descendants part of its family. While the wider Caribbean thrives on U.S. tourism, Tobago leans on Europe, leaving untapped potential that the diaspora can help bridge as ambassadors, investors, and cultural custodians. The Innovative Democratic Alliance, the IDA, has criticized Chief Secretary Fally Augustine for flip-flopping after confirming there will be no parade, official events, or fireworks on August 31st, in line with the central government's decision to replace celebrations with a national day of prayer during the state of emergency. The IDA accused Augustine of indecision and weakness, citing past reversals such as the shark bounty and budget requests. While some groups supported security concerns, others argued Tobago's parade should proceed. The Miss World Trinidad and Tobago 2025 journey was launched officially with the reveal of 20 finalists. The evening featured inspiring messages from reigning Queen Annalise Nanton and Giselle Larande West, Miss World 1986. Adrian Raymond and Richard Young shared their roles in guiding the delegates, while National Director Charu Lochan Das closed with remarks on culture and growth. Styled by Cooties Clothing, Sasha Cosmetics, and Salon Essentials, the finalists now begin training ahead of the November 16th Grand Coronation at Napa. Notably, Tobago will be represented by Miss Chenique Marcelin. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you so much, Natalia. And this morning we're on to our favorite segment of Youth Wednesdays. It's on to our birthdays. This morning we have just one birthday, but we want to celebrate with you. Happy birthday to you, Jamie Ibrahim. We wish you a very good day here from the Tobago Updates family. We wish you all that we have in store, that God blesses you richly. Next up, we have Miss Wendy Prescott. Happy birthday to you. We hope that your day is filled with lots of joy and laughter. We have next Diamond Armstrong. Good morning from the Tobago Updates family and happy birthday to you. We wish you a very good day today. And last but certainly not least, we have Devon McKenna. Good morning, Devon, and happy birthday from the Tobago Updates family and from me as well. I hope you have a great day. And thank you all so much for sending in your birthdays. And to those who didn't get to send in their birthday information, happy birthday to you from the Tobago Updates family.
And to those of you who may be celebrating a birthday today and might not have made it on our little birthday segment rundown, we just want to wish you a happy birthday and God's richest blessings as you celebrate a new year in your life. All right, so Renessa, you said it, and I'm going to repeat it, that we have an exciting show for them this morning.
Yes,
very much focused on youth, very much focused on fashion, if so to speak.
Focused on representation.
Representation, yes. You know, Renessa, I know that this is your field, this is your forte. So we're looking forward to Renessa even being a host this morning, but also being able to, you know, what is the word I want to put there, Renessa? Be able to share. Highlight, correct. Yeah, so we have a very big show for you this morning. Of course, we're hearing about the Miss World Trinidad and Tobago that has started. Well, down to the finalists, bringing the finalists in view, yes. Right? So we'll hear a little bit about that. But of course, let's give them the rundown in the sequence that it will follow. So first up, we'll have Monique Joseph. She is a model and esthetician. I did not want to mess up that word, but here I am. Esthetician. She is going to speak to us about life outside of pageantry. Yes. Next up, we have
Kidani Okconor, singer and entertainer. He's here to talk about his journey in this space, coming as a Tobago artist and what he expects coming out of Tobago Carnival as well.
I was happy to see him on the rundown this morning, you know, we see Kidani normally on social media, yes, sharing dances, sharing his, his little tunes that he would bring
sharing
up
and spreading the joy who Kidani is, yes.
Correct, all right, so I'm really happy to actually see him on the rundown this morning, here to bring us that vibe that he normally brings to his fans, so we're looking forward to that. And lastly, we'll have Miss Chenique Marcelin, model for Miss World Trinidad and Tobago. She's a contestant at Miss World Trinidad and Tobago. She'll be speaking to us a little bit about her journey, how she met thus far. And of course, Renessa will be taking us through that interview. So we're very excited to hear what Miss Chenique has to say and also what Renessa probably has to share as well. All right, so a lot to look forward to this morning. But Renessa, before we go, we need to encourage them to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Skibidoo bang bang, yours truly Juby representing for Neon, a tribal affair by Highlighter Entertainment. We are here.
Tobago, are you ready? Highlighter Entertainment's Neon, a Tribal Affair. Costume sales are live. Register now at highlighterentertainment.com. This is Carnival meets culture. Rhythm meets rebellion. Neon is calling. And your moment is now. Light up the night.
I jamming on the pavement with Neon. Jamming on the pavement with Red Woman. If you come to rub and shoot.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to Tobago Updates Youth Morning Show. We are here this morning with Monique Joseph. She was the second runner-up at Miss Grand Trinidad and Tobago and our lone representative for Tobago. Congratulations, Monique, and welcome to Tobago Updates this morning.
Thank you, Ernesto, and thank you for having me. Good morning, Tobago.
Guys, you see how lovely and vibrant she looks this morning. It's amazing to be able to just showcase and just to talk about Monique's journey at Miss Grand and what it means to represent Tobago on the national stage. So Monique, can you tell us what inspired you to join the Miss Grand pageant?
What inspired me? I jump at the opportunity for growth every time, and I really wanted to push myself to do something nationally. And when the opportunity came, it was an easy yes. And I'm really happy that I went ahead with it. I didn't get the exact result I wanted, but I found joy in the journey. Yeah.
Right.
And you also copped the Miss Photogenic Award. What
Thank
was that
you.
like? How did you feel receiving that award?
Easy peasy. You know, that's my element.
Yes.
You know, as a model, it's just about embodying different aspects of yourself, of your personality, and capturing that on camera.
You know, I was just about to say that, you know, Monique, you could actually see why she won the Miss Photogenic. All right. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
But a lot of people normally want to ask this question and probably are afraid to ask it. But what is it like balancing the world outside of pageantry as well as the pageantry aspect of it?
Right. So I'm a businesswoman. I'm an esthetician. I'm a model. And so my schedule is a bit more flexible, but it is a lot of hard work. But once you're dedicated, I feel like you find a way regardless. So for me, it's about time management and just doing what I need to get done at that point in time and leaving the rest for later. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And for the Miss Grand pageant, I know they focus specifically on gender-based violence.
Yes.
And that means that you have to be into advocacy. Can you tell us a bit about what you plan to do outside of pageantry? Are you planning to extend that? How are you going to roll that out here in the Tobago space and even Trinidad and Tobago? What are your plans for that?
Yes, so our advocacy is trying to end gender-based violence, and we really focus on education. So through my advocacy, I am going to do social work and go into schools. And we also plan to really focus on victims. So we've partnered with certain organizations to lend support to victims of gender-based violence.
And I know we have quite a few clubs on the island that also focuses on that. So that means you'll be partnering with people like Women of Substance to ensure that all victims and all people who have been affected by gender-based violence have that opportunity and that outlet to really heal and to move past it.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, as a Tobagonian, we usually have way more challenges than our Trinidadian counterparts, mainly because this competition is held in Trinidad.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you don't have lodging or accommodation and stuff like that, you have to be back and forth. What was that like? What were some of the challenges that you faced?
You know, Ranessa, I did miss a few training sessions, but, you know, I think family and friends really helped me on that journey to make it easier for me, because I was there for like a month and I stayed with family. So, you know, I have this support system and I'm grateful for that. But it is difficult when you're from Tobago and you have to make it to these Saturday sessions. And you're basically playing out of pocket because it's for your development. So you have to invest your time, your money, and your skills into making it happen.
All right. So you mentioned the back and forth from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
What was your preparation itself like leading up to the pageant? And how did your preparation journey, where was the motivation in your preparation journey?
Preparation was hard. It was every day. I definitely had to sacrifice because, you know, I'm a businesswoman. And so for that month, there was no business. There was just, you know, me focusing on what I had to get done. But you know, that journey really helped me to grow. It really built my strength physically, mentally, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change that journey for the world, yeah.
All right.
And piggybacking off of support, a lot of times people just see the glitz and the glamour of pageantry. They don't understand, as you said, the sacrifices, your parents and your family and your friends, what they put in to help you to get to that point. And since we are there at that point of sponsorship and possibly people donating or even contributing to your overall outcome, I want to find out, do you see potential for pageant tourism here in Tobago?
Yes, I see the potential all the time. And even in this national pageant, there was a lot of potential for Tobago business to shine and open that new market in Trinidad. Because Trinidad is where it's at. You know, let's just be honest, it's where it's at financially. And I really saw the opportunity for Tobagonians to, you know, spread their wings in that way. You know, makeup artists, hair stylists, you know, different things like that, yeah.
Do you think it's because they don't have a full understanding of how the pageantry business works, why they don't actually contribute or are able to come into that space so that they can spread their wings as well?
I think it's a mixture of being maybe timid and not having the right connections, but it's really about putting yourself out there, maybe doing a pitch, and really pushing your business to a new market.
All right. So, and then you mentioned, no, I'm piggybacking. We're doing a lot of piggybacking this morning. But Renessa would have mentioned, bringing that kind of, those ideas to Tobago. What do you think is the first step in getting this idea off the ground?
The first step is for Renessa and I, who have, done the hard thing and stepped out of our comfort zone to now nurture the younger ones and to nurture persons who are interested, because I know the interest is there. And it's just a matter of us partnering with each other and getting it flowing, yeah.
Okay.
And not only that, I don't think it's just about me and you who have already gone into this space, but it's also about government as well playing their part, or private sector playing their part as well, because a lot of the times they look at pageantry as just a glitz and glam. Pageantry is an opportunity for young women to be ambassadors for Tobago, to showcase Tobago's culture and heritage. And it just reminds me of something I saw on Facebook quite recently, where they were talking about in the social studies textbook, you see a lot more about Trinidad than Tobago. And Tobagonians, we are a lot more informed about Trinidad's natural resources than Tobago is informed about, Trinidad is informed about ours. And that is something I also tried to highlight while I was down there as Miss World, because a lot of the times they just see Tobago as Pigeon Point and Crown Point and that strip down there, but Tobago is a lot more. We have our waterfalls, we have our Heritage Festival. It's from July up until the beginning of August. That's another part of our culture and heritage, because it's still Trinidad and Tobago. And we need to really, when our young women are stepping into these spaces, they have that support. They are also there to showcase what Tobago has to offer, and hopefully that it's received in the best way possible.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So, Renessa, I think that brings us to the end of our interview here this morning.
Oh, no.
All right, but we did enjoy having Miss Monique Joseph here this morning, telling us a little bit about life outside of pageantry, but the pageantry experience itself. A lot of people, as you said, they don't understand that there is a lot of work put into pageantry for the individual, for the organizations involved. So I think, Renessa, you as well as Monique, really highlighted those pieces, and we want to thank you so much for bringing that to light. We hope to see a lot more of these type of things in Tobago. As you all said, we have a lot in Tobago to showcase, and we can do that through pageantry. I love to see when the models put together the pieces that they would wear to actually, showcase the types of things we have here. Whether it is, your theme is the coral reef, or your things are the beaches or stuff like that. So pageantry is exciting, and I think it's something that Tobago can take up, right? So we look forward to seeing what Monique and Renessa will have bringing to us to the table soon. All right, so Monique, thank you once again for joining us here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. Renessa, we need to encourage our viewers to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When they wrong, tell you you's a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive hula party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We come to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music pumping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes unmatched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarkets, Barcode, Lost Restaurant and Launch, Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Sun up Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Tobago Updates Television recognizes women in business. Every Thursday morning on The Morning Show, we engage with women-owned and operated businesses from right here in Tobago. We'll discover these women, their businesses, what inspired their business, their highs and their lows, and their encouragement to you. Join me, your host, Adana Kambi, this and every Thursday on The Morning Show from 7:40 a.m. as we celebrate and encourage women in business.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Skibidi bang bang. Yours truly Juby representing for Neon, a tribal affair by Highlighter Entertainment. We are here.
Tobago, are you ready? Highlighter Entertainments, Neon, a tribal affair. Costume sales are live. Register now at highlighterentertainment.com. This is Carnival meets culture. Rhythm meets rebellion. Neon is calling. And your moment is now. Light up the night.
I jamming on the pavement with Neon. On the pavement with Red Woman. If you come to rub and shoot.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're hearing us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. We are here just to, share with you, and I know you guys missed me. My two hosts did, although they were, down my throat for being here at the time in which I came. But I sometimes it be like that, but it's really good to be here with you guys, smack center in the middle of the week, and good morning to all our ardent viewers, of course. Guys, we have been having a lot of things in this space, right? We just came out, last week was CXC results, and the Ministry of Education would have sent out a notice, or they would have said that, they saw some really good improvements in CSEC and CAPE results. What are your take on that?
Well, and that means our educators are taking a different approach. They are ensuring that what they are teaching to the children, every single person has that opportunity to understand what is being taught. I think a lot of times when it comes to preparing for these exams, all students have different ways of learning. They have different ways of understanding and putting what is taught onto paper. And for there to be an improvement, it means that there is also an improvement in the way that the lessons are being taught to our children so that they can implement on the day in spite of nerves and all of these things.
Adding to what Renessa is saying, I always promised myself that when I get to a stage where I can talk about it, I would. right? When I was doing CXC, I remember a lot of older folks, they were very hard on CSEC students, not understanding that the curriculum has very much improved from their day. I want to put that word improved because things that they would have learned in like fifth form, fourth form, the first formers and second formers are now taking it on, right? So I just want to say congratulations, no matter your CSEC results, congratulations to you for taking up that courage to go to write your exams, taking the education way forward, all right? So also on what Renessa is saying about the improvements that were made based on the teaching, teachers, if we are seeing results, it means that the teachers are definitely putting in that work with the students. I saw from one high school that there was a pass rate, well, not pass rate, should I say pass? There was a 100% pass rate in the subject of biology, but there was also a 1-point-something% increase in how the students performed in their grades. So the school definitely highlighted it because the entire class, yes, they would have passed, but they passed with really great grades. You know, so I just want to let the students know that, I mean, your journey is now starting, but this is also a milestone that you should celebrate. Right? So congratulations to all CSEC students.
And more than that, Renesha highlighted the teachers. You spoke about the students, but we cannot forget the parents.
Of course not.
Parents, you know, I praise parents because I know that in especially the Tobago space, we are not as competitive with education as, you know, our counterpart in Trinidad. And I could praise, and I could definitely see that parents are getting more involved and more competitive in ensuring that their children's education is of paramount importance, and the results do show, right? Children who do better, you know, all those factors must come into play. Of course, there are those who are quite resilient, quite adept, you know, and don't necessarily need the influence of their parents, but, you know, the parents do create a passive, lucrative environment for their learning, which is important. But I just want to go over the overall the regional stats. They saw that in 2024 there was a 41% you know, pass rate in maths and English, but in 2025
this year
it accounted for a 3% improve, which is now at a 44% pass rate, right? So maths and English did well. In Trinidad and Tobago, the Ministry of Education in Trinidad announced a 95.72 overall pass rate, right? From grades 1 to
3.
They say 5.
Oh well, that would include the CAPE.
The CAPE as well, yes. That would include CAPE, you know, which is good. I think they should separate them though, you know, because CSEC is O and CAPE is advanced, which is A levels, right? But yeah, I am glad to know that, you know, we're in a very good trajectory. I do hope that we continue along this vein. Because, you know, COVID affected a lot of the results
and performances.
Even post-COVID. You know, when I talk to some students, you know, one of the things I keep hearing is that COVID really affected my performance. COVID really affected my performance.
Because a lot of students, they thrive better in that face-to-face environment as opposed to online, because they know you have to
sit behind a screen
exactly all day. Try not to be distracted because you don't have interaction with another human being. It's just you on a screen.
Right. I'm happy as well, as you said, for the face-to-face, well, back to face-to-face learning, but I'm also happy that they understand that certain things can really stay online. I'm not saying that, you know, they will base everything online, but that certain things can be done online to accommodate, you know, the decrease in travel for Tobago students over to Trinidad. Let's not slight that one.
Repeat that one.
The decrease in travel between the islands for Tobago students studying in Trinidad. Right? That was when we came out of COVID. I loved that the universities understood that there are certain courses that can remain online. And then there are the mixed ones. I mean, it would need us to travel between the islands, but at the same time, it decreases the amount of money that we need because the theory is being done online. So, you know, I think Trinidad and Tobago are on the up and up, the little drop, filling the bucket right now, right? In terms of how we are coming out of that pandemic, how we are going back to that very high trajectory of learning that we were on prior to COVID and now post-COVID.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So congratulations to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, and while we're on that note, we want to go talk. What about the sea bridge? Because Tobagonians, of course, are always at the messier end of the stick when it comes to the sea bridge issue, and I must say that because I frequent Trinidad a lot for work and for other matters, I do feel firsthand what that is like, especially for Tobago students and those, because we don't really go down to Trinidad, to live life and so on. We would much prefer to be home, but because a lot of these services are in Trinidad, higher education, goods, cheaper goods, cheaper this, cheaper that, right? We have to frequent Trinidad and we have to be subjected to the standbys on the sea bridge and the air bridge. And I kind of think that it's past the government at this point, because the government's responsibility is to provide the resources. The resources are there. I just think that the management within these organizations is what mess up the system, right? Imagine we are at a peak season, right?
I'm happy that you mentioned that. Continue.
We're in the peak season and we are still in 2025, suffering about standby, right? And let's talk about the infrastructures at the port. Let me talk about the Scarborough port. And by comparison, although Tobago's seaport is smaller, I think it is more organized than Trinidad.
I would agree as
right?
well.
It's a lot more organized, but there's still room for improvement. When you go to the seaport, you have to stand up outside in the hot sun. Come on, and inside is littered with a empty hallway. You could put some seating there for some elderly folks. Imagine in 2025, we still have concrete benches, no shade, right? But the shade has no seating.
Right.
I don't understand.
I mean, well, you have the shade and Dwayne, you can.
Well, I am throwing big shade this morning. I do hope that the authorities do take a hint. Come on, I mean, this is Trinidad and Tobago. It's high time that we think progressively.
I think Tobago has always had the forefront in hospitality. So when I say forefront, I mean we know how to treat people. You understand what I'm saying? But in terms of the ports, as you mentioned, right, a lot of improvements can be made to the Trinidad port as opposed to the Tobago port that has already shown more hospitable environments, getting to sit down in the AC and waiting, etc., etc. Right, so we look forward to that. But what I also want to say just before we wrap up our little banter segment here, Dwayne and Renessa, is that the very quick active movements to get the boats still traveling between the islands despite one boat being down doing maintenance. Because I know last year when they had to introduce the Empandadora, it was a ticklish kind of time for people because there was this lag first and then they really decided to implement that boat system. But this year we hear that the Cabo Star is going on dry dock, but the islands really put it in, between the Prime Minister and our Chief Secretary. They put that contingency in place one time. So I love to see
Minister of Works, by the way.
Minister of Works
and also Tobagonian,
all right, but we just want to thank you all for doing that. Business proceeds as usual, and it is all thanks to that frequent, the consistent movement on the A&C bridge. All right, so we're being given the signal to wrap up our little segment. I love speaking to Dwayne and Renessa, but we have to bring it to a close. So before we go, Dwayne and Renessa, we'll just like to encourage them to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, eh? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet here. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but I have my cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Printer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to Tobago Updates. It's Youth Wednesdays, and this morning we are here with Tobago's lone representative for Miss World Trinidad and Tobago 2025. She's one of the youngest in the cohort at just 17 years old. We have here in studio with us Miss Chenique Marcelin, representing Tobago for Miss World. Good morning, Chenique, and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming. It's such a pleasure to have you here. And I know it's such a great opportunity for you to be representing Tobago on such a national level. Chenique, tell us, how did you feel when you found out that you were selected to represent Tobago for Miss World Trinidad and Tobago?
I felt very excited to know that I'll be able to represent my country on a wider scale and to be able to implement my beauty with a purpose.
I'm happy that you mentioned your beauty with a purpose. We know that with Miss World, there's advocacy that aligns with it, and it's the heart and soul of Miss World. Can you tell us what your beauty with a purpose is about?
Yes, my beauty with a purpose is called the FACT Foundation for Fashion, Art, Creativity and Talent, as well as therapy, which means that I will be able to break the chains of the younger generation who are insecure, have low self-esteem, and be able to build confidence.
And that is such an important aspect, ensuring our young people have that self-confidence and that self-esteem and utilizing creative outlets for them to be able to harness that. I know personally, dabbling in fashion and that creative sector usually gives me an opportunity to explore fields that I usually don't, and that sense of purpose and pride that you get from accomplishing something is really amazing. Now, what have you learned about yourself leading up to the screening process? I know the screening process happened, you went down, there were interviews with the judges and all of these things. I know things were going through your mind. Tell us what that screening process was like.
Okay, so I've definitely learned that I will have to build more confidence within myself to be able to go on this big stage with thousands of people watching me, to be able to have an open, free mind, be positive, and overall give back to my community.
So what does this opportunity mean for Tobago? I know you're representing us. What does that mean for Tobago? You being the second person right after me to be able to represent Tobago, what does that mean for your community and Tobago? And how do you plan to represent Tobago in the competition?
I plan to represent Tobago by giving them an upper hand in culture, showing them that talent shows from a young age, not just you being older.
Yeah, right.
As well as me, I am very young, but I'm shooting for the stars in hopes of making my island great.
I'm happy that you said that. And a lot of times we think that because someone is young, they don't have the capability or the necessary skills for them to be able to showcase themselves. But I know and I'm positive that you would be able to showcase what Tobago has to offer. I know you're going to be able to do very well with the other young ladies there, networking and ensuring that you put your best foot forward always, no matter what the situation or the outcome is. So how have you been preparing for this new role? What was that like? How are you preparing mentally, spiritually? I know you have your support system as well. What has all of that been like?
It has been challenging at times in terms of I will have to be starting new physical training to get in some exercise, and definitely changes in my diet to ensure that I look the part.
Okay, and I know that the fitness challenge is one of the main segments for Miss World. You have to go through a series of exercises, but I know that would culminate after all the training sessions that you would have. What are some of the things that we can expect or look forward to during your competition?
You can expect me to be able to make sure and stay on task, ensure that I complete all competitions, maybe being able to score high in them so I'll be able to score in the top 10 of the competition.
Now I want you to score for the top 5. Yes. I know top 10 is, but we are aiming for excellence. Yes. You are the lone representative and we want you to do very well. And on that note, can you tell us how Tobago can support you? Is there an Instagram page that they can follow? What can they do to ensure that you feel supported while you are in Tobago, while you are in Trinidad representing Tobago?
Yes, so Tobago can support me by going on my Instagram page. It's called Chenique_MWTT25 and be able to like, comment and share all my posts to be able to build my algorithm.
And I just want to ask you one more question. How has growing up in Tobago shaped the individual that you are now, and how would that translate when you are in Trinidad competing and showing up at all these different appearances?
So growing up in Tobago has taught me one thing, is that all of us is one big family, and to treat everyone with the same hospitality, respect, and love they deserve, because Tobago is love. Thank you.
Lovely and lovely. I'm really happy that you said that. And what are some of the things that you're excited or even nervous about? I know going into that space, there are 20 of you this time. What is that going to be like? How do you feel? What nerves? What are you excited about? Is it making new friends? Is it networking? Are you worried about how you're going to be perceived by the public? What is that like?
I'm definitely excited to meet new industry professionals, be able to share my talent with the world, and be able to betterly know my fellow delegates.
And that's the beauty of this competition, being able to meet with other like-minded young women and being able to go into what it's like, their life is like, their backgrounds. And because after the pageant, some of these women become your lifelong friends. These are people who will be able to put you up on platforms that you wouldn't be able to put yourself on. And that's why it's so important that while you're there, you ensure that you treat everyone with the respect and dignity that they deserve and what you would like for yourself as well. Now, Chenique, before we go, I just want you to share with any other young woman who would be interested in joining any of these pageants, what is your advice to them? What's something that you want to share with them?
I would definitely tell them, continue to believe. Don't let anyone's other opinions about you dictate your path.
Thank you so much, Chenique.
Thank you.
Tobago, I just want to implore and ask you to support your delegate. You have no idea how your support goes a long way. Reach out to her family, just following the Instagram page, following her journey, sharing every post that she makes. It goes a long way. We are one big family, as Chenique said, and I'm asking that you all continue to support her on her journey as she vies for the crown of Miss World Trinidad and Tobago 2025. And our viewers, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Skibidi bang bang. Yours truly be representing for Neon, a tribal affair by Highlighter Entertainment. We are here.
Tobago, are you ready? Highlighter Entertainments. Neon, a tribal affair. Costume sales are live. Register now at highlighterentertainment.com. This is Carnival meets culture. Rhythm meets rebellion. Neon is calling. And your moment is now. Light up the night.
I jamming on the pavement with Neon. Jamming on the pavement with Red Woman. If you come to rub and shoot.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When you wrong, tell you you's a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive pool party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We came to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music popping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes unmatched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarket, Barcode, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Sun Up Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Skibidi bang bang. Yours truly be representing for Neon, a tribal affair by Highlighter Entertainment. We are
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
You like too much comments, my kid. You like too much bacchanal. I just try my best with all, yeah, but you just don't understand. The heavy vibes thing, I'm feeling it. I fitting in a break, baby, you're killing me. Stand up outside, and I'm building it. Can't live in it.
No, go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Jesus answers prayers. Could I say go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus.
Welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. My name is Dwayne Nurse. You bring us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. This morning, I want to continue the discussion with Mr. Kidani Okconor. Many of you might know him. He's a personality on the island. You know, he wears many hats. So, with no further ado, let's go straight and introduce to you Mr. Okconor. Good morning and welcome to you, brother.
Hey,
Coconut Scarfy.
It's a pleasure to be here as well. Let me say thank you for having me as well. On the morning show, Tobago Updates morning show. Yeah. I see a little coffee, drink a little coffee at the same time. Good vibes.
So you wear many hats, Mr. Okconor. Just tell us about yourself for those of our viewers who don't know. Yeah.
Great. So firstly, my name is Kidani Okconor. I am quite young. You know, I like to say that because people tend to forget because of the way I move now. But I, as I said, wear several hats. I am an entertainer at heart. I love to entertain. I love to make people feel happy. I love to spread positivity, good vibes, good energy, whether it comes in the form of music, whether it comes in the form of emceeing, whether it comes in the form of dancing, drumming, whatever it is, it's just good vibes and good energy and making people feel good, making people feel happy. Yeah.
But before, I mean, you're leaving out a very important part, right? You are also a gym trainer, a gym instructor, I should say.
A personal trainer, yes.
Personal trainer, right? Big up Downtown Fitness,
all the
guys. You know, for those of you who want the buds, you know, just now again, it's Carnival again, and then next year, Carnival again. And if you just want a overall health and wellness, fitness, Downtown trainer, you could look for Kidani. I can mention some others, but they're not here this morning. But, so
yes, you could check it out. And also, let me give my Instagram handles. It's Kidani Okconor. Also, Facebook is the same thing, Kidani Okconor. TikTok, it's King Kidani. So if it is that you're interested in that service as well, you know, you could also send me a DM there, and we could always work it out. And I think I forget the most important thing. I'm also an artist.
Yeah. So I know we have a lot to discuss this morning, but you became quite popular in my mind when we saw that video, you dancing, the good old, what's that? Real bad.
You know, funny enough, I got some backlash for it, you know.
Let me talk about
All right. But let me talk about the goodness. It just happened randomly as well. It was just on the fly moment because I'm a little impulsive sometimes, and it was just a moment for me to just express how I felt in that moment. You know, sometimes I find moments and it's just for me to express what is inside. You know, and that is what I do also when I MC. I just express what is inside. Whatever is inside, I just reflect on the outside and put it out in whatever way that feels natural to me.
So now that you're in this space as an entertainer, you're now an artist, tell us what is in the pipelines for you, because we just had not jazz, Heritage. We have Carnival coming up very, very, very soon. What is in the pipeline for Kidani?
You know, thanks for mentioning Heritage. Actually, my last song is it was specifically created for the Heritage. I guess that was the song I was playing earlier. I could even give you a little sample of it.
Yeah, give us a sample.
But a cappella too?
Well, I don't know if
let me explain first.
Go ahead.
So Billet, that is me, Chama John, and Ray. Wonderful artists, wonderful men, you know, to bounce ideas off of. Incredibly talented fellas, you know. So that was just one of the things that came out of the Heritage season for me in terms of Carnival that is coming. I have some things in the pipeline as well for that. My intention is to go up for the Soca Titans. Big up my brother Verse, but I hope you know that I come in. I'm coming, you know.
So Billet, right? Tell us about Billet. Why the name, and why did you bring it out for Heritage? If you could share.
I could. No, Billet is a kind of crazy story. I wouldn't go into the deeper details of it, but I would kind of explain how it came about. So, It started between Chama, John, and Ray. Right, they had an idea, they went not working on something, and while they were doing certain things, they was talking about just building it and just building the vibes and that kind of stuff. And when they came back to Tobago, they included me into the whole project. So it was just an idea, build it, what we building? And I was like, let me build the vibes, heritage time coming. Let me sell something that could include the village, that could include the people, something that feels family oriented. It's just a vibe, it's just an energy, but we sell it in a type of way that is it ties into the heritage. Most of the times, heritage is bacchanal. So the song starts off, you like too much commerce, my girl, you like too much bacchanal. I just try my best with all you, but you just don't understand the heavy vibe thing. I feeling it. I feel we need a break, baby, you're killing me. And then I come in, go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Jesus answers prayers. Because they say, go down in the gully and just go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Anytime you're feeling heavy, you're stressed out, you don't know what to do, go down in the gully. Normally it's go down in the valley, but remix, go down in the gully.
Well, we know what gully. I mean, once because the valley usually has the river running, the creeks running. So gully, we know it as gully.
Valley, same difference.
Same thing.
Potato, tomato.
But that is real vibe, and I really love the energy, brother. Right, because we tend to be kind of myopic, and given that you had such a short stint of being an entertainer on the island, you have, garnered the respect of people on the island, and I'm sure I've seen you in some of the Tobago House of Assemblies, marquee events, right? I've seen you elsewhere, right? In private events as well, which is very, very, very good, because, sometimes we think that we want to do something and it will take too long. To build your name, but you maintain that consistency, despite the backlash, right? So but do you have any other song releasing, and do you want to anything?
You touch it. Yeah, we do know. So because so I started releasing music last year. Last year, October was the first time I ever released a song. And the name of that song was Jam.
Right.
You can check it out on YouTube.
Right.
After that, I released a song called Friday for Trinidad Carnival. That was in February. We released a song called Billet, which is for the heritage. And I have 2 songs for the carnival. One is a groovy, one is a power. Now, before I even
don't give up.
I ain't want to give out too much because what happened is we just fixing all those small details and making sure that everything line up so that when everything is mainstream, it's just up the road from there. But the intention was to give something different. Somebody tell me, let's say, Kidani, all your songs thus far, right? Your mommy can't sing it, she could get out of breath, She'll be out of breath by the time the song is finished, or halfway through the song. So, give me something that we could we could slow down and we could breathe through the song. But I say, what? You have a good point. So that is what inspired the groovy song. But I mean, most of the songs is songs for
upbeat.
But the 2 songs in specific for the soca. It's really for the ladies now, but just for my ladies to feel good. At the end of the day, if a lady enjoy a party was great.
At the end of the day, you're a ladies gentleman.
Come on, let me fix my shirt.
But Kidani, we really are proud, and Tobago Updates do recognize your work thus far, and we want to thank you for being here this morning. Anything else you want to say to your viewers and your supporters? I'm sure you have supporters.
Yes, boy. Just want to take the time to say thank you to everyone supporting me thus far, everyone that looks out to everything that I do, that is supporting, sharing, liking, commenting. It doesn't matter how small it is, even if it is that you just mention the word or my name, Kidani, in a space that is positive. I appreciate it. I love it. I love you. I'll keep doing other thing. I will keep doing my thing and making sure that you'll enjoy every single thing that I do. I will try to be as authentic as possible, because I ain't trying to be like nobody. I ain't trying to, I'm just trying to be myself. And at the end of the day, if it is as it resonates with you and you feel it and you feel the vibration, you're like, Kidani have a vibe. Cool vibes. You have a vibe too. I love you and appreciate you. Simple as that.
Brother, all the best, my brother. Right? I think you should do one more video
One more.
With like the dancing, right? Yeah, you should do that. And you could take some things from R&B, because R&B singers like to dance during this.
If I've been honest with you, that dancing video, the reason why I never did a next video like that
because it was how it happened now, but
not really because of the backlash or anything like that. That don't matter to me. Like I am me, and if it is you don't like me, that is okay. Love. But the reason why I didn't fight up with it was because I realized that people were not seeing me for. They just see me as a dancer. They just see me as, oh yeah, why not? Hey, look, why not? And personally, I don't care for the clout. I don't care to be seen as a whiner boy. I don't care for the attention either. At the end of the day, I want to be me. And if it is that you could resonate with what I am doing, love. I'm not trying to put myself in the spotlight. I don't care for them things. People just feel like, oh yeah, man, you like that. You want to be in front of it. No, sometimes it's just a matter of that is just God bless me with certain gifts, and at the end of the day, if it is that I don't work on these gifts, I am ungrateful. I had to be ungrateful for God to give me all these blessings and for me to not use it. But at the end of the day, the intention is never to just be in the spotlight. The intention is just to be organic, be authentic, and have fun.
Alright guys, you heard it from KO. This is KO, Kidani Okconor. I gave you a name there. Alright,
KO.
So thank you again for being here with us. Guys, we want to thank you for being here with us on Tobago Updates Youth Wednesdays. This is Dwayne. I'm signing out. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
But you just don't understand. The heavy vibes thing, I'm feeling it. I feel in a break, baby, you're killing me. Stand up outside, and I'm building it. Can't live in it. No, go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Jesus answers prayers. Let me say, go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Go down in the gully and talk to Jesus. Jesus answers prayers. Listen now. Early morning, you come and look for me. Early morning, you come and look for me. Bad mind come.
Promised you more action from the Dud Diving Championships in this week's episode, and you'll get just that, along with details about a new tourism grant program, a wholesale market scheduled for next week, and much more. Spend the next few minutes with me as I bring you the latest in the Tobago House of Assembly. This is 116. One.
6 beautiful island.
Charlottesville was the place to be last Saturday for the Duds diving event. From daring leaps to picturesque scenic views, here's a look back at the action that had the crowd on their feet.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods. Top-notch hoes get the most, not the lizard. Straight terror, product of your errors. Pushing culture, baby, got that powder you can measure.
The Division of Tourism is offering grants of up to $50,000 for projects aimed at preserving Tobago's heritage, enhancing communities, and boosting tourism. Now, you can apply for these grants through your area representative's office. Visit the Division's social media platforms for more details. Our Little Voices have spoken. Congratulations to the winners of the Little Voices Big Heritage Competition hosted by the Assembly Legislature. And of course, a big shout out to all the participants. Parents, please keep an ear out for details on the prize giving ceremony. The wait is over. The Tobago Farmers Wholesale Market officially launches on Wednesday, 27th August 2025 at the Shore Park Food Hub from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. This monthly event, held on the last Wednesday of each month, offers fresh, healthy produce straight from local farmers at unbeatable wholesale prices. Don't forget your reusable market bags and join the farm-to-table movement. The Community Care Outreach event hosted by the Division of Food Security and the Division of Health took place at the Shore Park Food Hub, and there was something for everyone. Technical staff of the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development joined a workshop hosted by the Ministry of Planning in conjunction with the UN Risk Management. The Ministry of Planning also joined forces with the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. The session explored ways to integrate disaster risk reduction into the National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan, aligning with the coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework to safeguard nature, build resilience, and promote sustainable ecosystem use in Tobago. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of 116. For all of our episodes, or just to stay connected with the Office of the Chief Secretary, follow us on all of our social media platforms. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards, and we'll catch up in our next episode.
One six. Beautiful island.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have a news in 90 seconds. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, speaking at a town hall meeting in New York under the name Bridging the Diaspora, stressed the diaspora's key role in Tobago's growth. Augustine urged Tobagonians abroad to invest in schools, churches, villages, and property, noting that every visit, purchase, or contribution will strengthen Tobago. He noted despite migration, Tobago considers all descendants part of its family. While the wider Caribbean thrives on U.S. tourism, Tobago leans on Europe, leaving untapped potential that the diaspora can help bridge as ambassadors, investors, and cultural custodians. Additionally, the Innovative Democratic Alliance has criticized Chief Secretary Fali Augustine for flip-flopping after confirming there will be no parade, official events, or fireworks on August 31st, in line with central government's decision to replace the celebrations with a national day of prayer during the state of emergency. The IDA accuses Augustine of indecision, weakness, and citing past reversals such as the shark bounty and budget requests. While some groups supported security concerns, others urged Tobago's parade should proceed. And finally, the Miss World Trinidad and Tobago 2025 journey has officially launched with the reveal of 20 finalists. The evening featured inspiring messages from reigning Queen Annalise Annan and Jaleese Laronde West, Miss World 1986. Adrian Raymond and Richard Young shared their roles in guiding the delegates, while the National Director, Charo Luchan Das, closed with remarks on culture and growth. Styles by Kuti Clothing, Sasha Cosmetics, and Salon Essentials for the finalists as they now begin training ahead of the November 16th Grand Coronation at Napa. Notably, Tobago will be represented by Chenique Marcelin. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Guys, this morning we jump full speed ahead into our discussions, and we are still speaking about the fact that there is no Independence Day parade this year. And who better to speak about that with this morning than former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Well, this is something that is a bit new for Trinidad and Tobago, in that we are seeing this current government making a very tough decision to postpone or to cancel the regular Independence Day parade due to issues of security concern and wanting to use those finances, as they put it, for greater security investment. Again, welcome, and how are you feeling about these sentiments this morning?
Hi, well, good morning again. As any patriot, any citizen, any person who was in the military, we would understand the significance and the importance of independence. To hear comments from certain persons that we are wasting money, it's just for fire trucks and army trucks to parade, it shows ignorance in understanding the importance and significance of celebrating and respecting a period of an anniversary every year for the last 63 years of the fact that we are now free to self-govern. We have now become mature as a country without having to be controlled and dictated by external forces. Many countries in the world do not have that opportunity. So instead of us, we should understand how important that is. But again, my support on the shutting down of the independence celebration is specifically and solely based on the statements made as it pertains to it being a clear and present danger, and based on intelligence agencies stating that they do not think they have the capability to secure the environment on that day. And if that is the case, then nothing trumps national security. Having said that, if I was the Commissioner of Police, the things that I'm seeing this Commissioner of Police doing, and this is not to discredit him, it's just different style, different personalities. There's no way that I will back down to criminal elements unless I know for sure that I cannot handle it. He became Commissioner of Police. There was a situation with the prisons and with prisoners having access to sending messages out to put hits. His first way of trying to solve the problem was to make a recommendation for a state of emergency. I had the exact situation, and I was able to put a comprehensive operational plan that locked down these 13 individuals that for 3 or 4 months, nothing could get into their cells and pass through them without having to have a proclamation by the president. When you have a state of emergency, it affects the country. But he made the recommendation and the government had to adhere to it. Now he probably would be the front person to recommend that we don't think that we can secure the country. That could have never happened to me as Commissioner of Police, because if it is that you have 10,000 plus persons on Independence Day armed to the teeth, what it is, you're trying to tell me you have 10,001 criminals out there that can take you on mano a mano? That's impossible. I will never back down and be able to surrender to criminals. That is basically what it can be perceived as. So he seems to be very conservative. He sees something, call a state of emergency, tell the Prime Minister to shut down Independence Parade. And that is his right. And if he does that, the government must adhere to it. Because now, don't say that it must. But if they don't and something happens, there's going to be a price to pay, because you have to take the advice from the experts. The experts have stated that they don't think they have the capability. It could very well be that they believe that they have intelligence that there might be plans to do things outside of the Queen's Park Savannah and where Tobago have their celebrations. That because of that, of all the focus of law enforcement agencies and personnel being neutralized, being centered in one area, it can cause that to happen. Or it could be that whether it's a sniper fire, an improvised explosive device, whatever it is, it must not in any way be seen that the government has made this decision. This decision was made solely on the intelligence agencies doing that. And if that is the case, unfortunately, we have to adhere to it.
Right.
There's one quick point. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's one quick point there. However, and that's where there's a window that is causing many people to believe it's because the government just don't care about national, they don't care about the Independence Parade. They don't see it as being significant. They see it as being a P&M thing. And because of that, it has caused many persons to believe that this is not about national security. And what has intensified this belief is the fact that we have ministers in the government openly making statements like that. And it does not help the government, because if the government says, look, this is based specifically on national security, a national security concern, fine. But you have David Naked coming out now and openly stating, well, that's a PNM thing, and for 10 years the PNM did it. How ignorant can you be? The PNM, the UNC had a similar parade from 2010 to 2015. Basio Pandey ran the parade from 1995 to 2001. You as a government minister come on live and you make a video and say this was a PNM thing, and that's why PNM people like that, and this is UNC government now. That is totally incorrect. And if it is that you do that and you make comments like that, then it is going to cause people to believe, it's going to cause people to believe that that this is done specifically on the fact that it is based on it is not seen by the UNC as something important, and that is where I am very concerned. And then you have Philip Alexander, who speaks on everything other than his ministry. Philip Alexander, every single dog that passes, he has been speaking about. He has been speaking. He goes on television this morning and is saying, well, you know, we have to look and maybe start changing the concept of Independence Parade, because Independence Parade, with all these trucks and all that, maybe we could change it. And that is quite possible. But by you coming at this time to speak about, well, maybe it is the whole concept of the parade is the wrong thing. Why are you saying that now? So Philip Alexander and David Naked have done nothing other than to make it very difficult for the government in trying to get people to believe that this is done solely on an intelligence report by the law enforcement agencies.
Right, and let's talk a bit about the situation surrounding this level of national security concerns. We saw an article coming out yesterday and within the last few days regarding, you know, some of the key persons who are at the center of the accusations surrounding these national security concerns, with 3 ministers and 1 public official being a target. You know, for a long time, the issue of campaign financing and the putting proper protocol, proper, policies in place for how campaign financing is received, and, you know, having a certain level of transparency there has been a topic, but nothing has truly come out of that. And we're seeing a situation where, because that has gone unchecked for so long, we are now hearing allegations that this national security threat is based on campaign finances to the tune of, I believe, $20 million that, you know, investors are now coming back for the return on their investment through the URP and CPEP programs. Talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah, well, thankfully, I mean, I have fought this battle against 1, 2, 3, 4 governments as National Security Advisor, as a member of the Congress of the People, when the PNM started referring to these criminals as community leaders, as Commissioner of Police, and that is where then Prime Minister Rowley and I had the war. It had to do with firearms and all of that. It had to do with him taking a front page stating that the gangs have a right to apply for contracts to their people. Well, that's questionable in my mind. I don't refer to them as that. So government after government have continued to play in this game, feeling that but they forget that when you play with filthy animals, you will get fleas. Patrick Manning did it, brought them to a hotel, referred to them as community leaders, and gave them massive state contracts. Then when I was the Minister of National Security, I was the one who stood up against my own government with live sport. Thankfully, the then Prime Minister, who's the present Prime Minister, agreed with me. Whereas all the rest of them banged the table, long live live sport. And I was seeing the data, 400 million, the majority of which was used to siphon funds for criminal elements. It was indirectly involving over 40 people losing their lives. And we had government ministers trying to condone and support it, saying, well, you have to understand how this thing works, Gary. I said, no, you don't. And the Prime Minister thankfully accepted. I did all the research on myself, more than the police. All the information the police got, it came from me. And the Prime Minister transferred it to the Ministry of National Security. It was too much, and then we shut it down. When I was Commissioner of Police, I showed Prime Minister Rowley CPEP, URP. It as an avenue where your persons were getting a $500,000 contract to build a $50,000 box drain. The $450,000 profit wasn't going to the communities or to the small man. They were taking it, siphoning funds, using it to import illegal weapons, human trafficking, hiring more gang members, using it to purchase drugs, putting hits on other gang members to get their state contracts, and then hiring police officers who are rogue officers to protect them, protect their tool, protect their drug block, transport, using vehicles. These same police officers turned on me and they tried to rally themselves with the same PNM to have me removed. My removal had a lot to do with the same situation, and it showed the input of how the gangs had infiltrated into the PNM. And I spoke about it. Thankfully, this Prime Minister has stood firm. I am pleasantly surprised. He's the first Prime Minister ever, I think, that has stood firm and said, we are not going to negotiate with criminals. We are not going to give them. So Kamala is saying we are not going to give the gang state contracts. Keith Rowley is stating, but Gary, there's people too. They're entitled to apply. It shows the difference. And by her doing that, she has raised a red flag to call out open war. It is the line in the sand has been drawn. And I said it. When this happens, the murder rate might very well intensify, because think of it that you have 2 potongs and you're giving each potong a big plate of food, and then all of a sudden you remove the food and you have a little scrap. They're going to fight over each other for what little there is. It is going to happen, but my concept is we need to bleed to heal. And what she's doing is the right thing, and they would retaliate. Their retaliation, I had it as commissioners of police. There were 43 death threats on me and my family. Special Branch said it was the most high profile person to be assassinated because of my stance against criminals having state contracts. What the Prime Minister is doing, you're going to get the same thing. And with that, you're going to get threats and so forth. And it will include making wild threats, and sometimes they say we're going to destroy Independence Parade. If you have a commissioner that's going to say, oh gosh, you see that's sounding true, let's cancel it. Or call it SOE. We can't be just, every time somebody cries wolf, we're going to immediately press the panic button and shut everything down. But as I said, the government was left with no choice if the law intelligence agencies made that decision.
Right. Let's talk about the fact that these persons are being named and identify the persons who are, posing these threats, but yet no one has been arrested. Talk to us, as former commissioner of police. Why is that?
Well, you see, there's something called lies, darn lies, and intelligence, and therein lies the problem. Intelligence. That's why when the previous Prime Minister, she said, well, same thing. He said, well, if you know that they broke the law, you could arrest them and charge them, but in the meantime, allow them to have contracts. And I said, no. In the United States, there are several hundred persons that are on a terrorist watch list. They have never been arrested or charged, but the US is not going to give them a contract to paint the White House. It's called common sense. So if it is that you have intelligence of these individuals involved in criminal activity, but we don't have that threshold of evidence to have them charged, we're not going to give them a product of opportunity for them to have profit, to have more sophisticated artillery than the police service. And therein lies the problem. So you can't charge them because, again, going back to the anti-gang legislation, in 2006, when I was in the COP, I was the first person who made the recommendation to have these laws if somebody's a gang member. Because I went to New York City, I worked with Mayor Rudy Giuliani, 3 commissioners of police, Bill Bratton, Bernard Kerrick, and others, Kelly and so forth, and they showed me how it is done. But in the United States, to arrest persons for gang activity, it is the easiest thing to do, whether it is people have a similar tattoo, whether they stay in a specific place, whether they have a specific jersey, a specific hairstyle, they go in a certain bar. That it's as easy as that. We drafted this gang anti-gang legislation. It is impossible to arrest somebody for gang activity, virtually impossible. The few people who have been arrested is because we arrested them for a criminal offense and then linked it. But if you already charged them for a major criminal offense, then the gang activity is just by the way. So therein lies the problem. The law is so weak to allow the police to target someone to be a gang member. You virtually have to have somebody say, I am a gang member, for that person to be charged to be a gang member. So the anti-gang legislation is a waste of time. Stop blaming the police for not being able to charge people. But in the meantime, we have intelligence to know they're in gangs and we know what they are doing. And with that, it means that we know, and again, intelligence might show these are the individuals who are involved in the 43 assassination plots on myself. We knew several of them. Some of them were charged, some of them were neutralized, some of them backed off and migrated. But the fact is, I didn't go and press the panic button and call for an SOE or to shut down Independence Parade. If it is that this matter is much bigger than this, and again, as I said, I do not know. And that is why it is important that the law enforcement heads have said nothing. If it is that based on intelligence from the Defense Force Intelligence, the SSA, the SIU, and the Special Branch of the Police, I would have expected and recommended the Chief of Defense Staff, the Director of the SSA, and the Commissioner of Police to have done a press conference by now. If something so drastic and so serious that an independence parade has to be shut down, why are you allowing the government to take front and trying to defend and justify why they are doing it when you are the ones gave them the recommendation? You should come forward and say, we are the ones who made the recommendation. We sent it to the government, and the government is thankfully adhering to our recommendation because we don't think we have the capability to secure the country on Independence Day. They have stayed silent, and that silence is deafening because it is causing the public to second guess that this is really not a security matter. This is because you just don't like independence parades, and that may not be the case. So the government is suffering because of the leaders who are getting big money. They need to step up and do what is required.
Right, and in a stark contradiction, we hear that the UNC will be continuing with their usual meetings. We are seeing these same politicians going out and being a part of these political meetings, but not being able to participate in the major parades because of this threat. Do you see those two things being a conflict?
It would in the eyes of the average citizen, which is my point, because people will say, okay, so the 26 ministers in government cannot be secured in an independence parade where 10,000 law enforcement officers are armed to the teeth. But you could go on a Monday night forum where there will be 4 special branch officers to guard you. And that is how it will be perceived to the average person. And that is happening because of the absence of the law enforcement heads sitting. They're supposed to come out and say, we want to shut down the independence parade because we have a specific intelligence report on that day of that specific nature that is going to cause a situation of a clear and present danger to the country. Because it's not just Monday night forum. 2 weeks later, just a couple miles from the Savannah, there's something called the National Stadium, and 25,000 people will be going to see Trinidad and Tobago play Curacao. Is it that we're going to be concerned and say we're going to shut down the game as well? So we have to be very careful. And these type of things affect not just us locally, but internationally and regionally as well. It will affect trade, it will affect the economy, it will affect tourism. How would anybody say, well, listen, why would I go there? Why would I invest there? Because you can't even have a parade. You're afraid that terrorists or whatever might cause it. The law enforcement heads have to come forward and say, this is a specific situation. It is isolated, but it's only for this day. Life will go on as normal. Say something, do something. You can't just be hiding behind closed doors and causing the government now to be taken front. Minister Dave Tanku had to try to explain why would the PNM want to have everybody centered in one area. That happens all over the world. So Minister Tanku is now trying to be a law enforcement expert to justify. He shouldn't have to do that. Where's the commissioner, the chief of defense staff, the director of the SSA? They need to step out and say, we made the recommendation, but it's only for this day because we know there's a plan to infiltrate Point Lisas and the energy sector or other parts of Tobago because all of the law enforcement agencies will be neutralized in one area. Or they could state that there's a sniper rifle was brought in and having sniper fire in the Queen's Park Savannah, it is quite possible. Or an improvised explosive device, and we're not sure where it will be placed. And it could be placed anywhere because we have all of Arapita Avenue where the parade is taking place. But after that, we are good. We are in control. Say something. If you don't say something, it will have people believe. So you could shut down Independence Parade, but you could have World Cup football, you could have Monday Night Forum, and therein lies the problem. The absence of the law enforcement experts who hold positions of authority not saying anything, and it is causing that absence of communication by the experts to cause speculation, maybe wrongfully so.
Right, and even as we wrap up the discussion this morning, are you in agreement with this decision or this position that the country is taking as it pertains to, deciding not to go forward with this year's parade and instead having a national day of prayer and worship?
Well, again, as I said, had I been commissioner of police, it would not have gone that way because mine is one to stand firm and take the fight to the criminals, not have the criminals, because that is what terrorism is as well. Terrorism is not just the actual press the button, but to cause the panic and fear and instability in a place. Shutting down events and so forth means that the terrorists or the criminals have won. So, and I do not lose. Having said that, I'm not foolish just to go in there, in charge of the Light Brigade. So if it is that I was commissioner of police and I'm aware of what the threat is, I would have immediately neutralized the threat or put everything in place to prevent the threat from taking place. So I probably would not have made the recommendation to shut down Independence Parade. I would definitely would not have caused a state of emergency, because a state of emergency, the police could do the exact things that they can do without a state of emergency, other than arresting people indefinitely and breaking out into houses without a warrant. So what is the difference? You just have to intensify your operations. So that is my take on it. However, if there's more information that I and the public we are not aware of that is so damning and serious that warrants the protection and the safety of the government ministers and the citizens and so forth, as I said, nothing trumps security, nothing trumps safety and security. And if it is so much that the experts in law enforcement are saying we don't think we can handle it, well, then it is the right thing to do. But again, for that to happen, there must be communication by these heads to say, we made the recommendation to the government, but after independence, there's nothing to fear. You can go to football, you can go to Monday Night Forum, you could go on bars and Arpita Avenue, Arima, wherever, you're safe.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for your time this morning and bringing us these insights. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
I say, thanks a favor, so wake up and hear my neighbor. I beat and roll, all day we beat and roll, all day I beat and roll, all day we beat and roll. When the spirit it, I beat and roll, when the spirit it, I beat and roll, when the spirit it, I beat and roll. What to do? Let me see how stick you could get, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could, see how stick you could, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could get, see how stick you could get. Let me see how stick you could, see how stick you could, see how stick you could get. Wet me down, wet me down. Wet me down, wet me down, wet me down, wet me down. Right now I'm overeating. Wet me down, 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 wet me down. Right now I'm over.
Skibby doo bang bang. Yours truly do be representing for Neon, a tribal affair by Highlighter Entertainment. We are here.
Tobago, are you ready? Highlighter Entertainments. Neon, a tribal affair. Costume sales are live. Register now at highlightentertainment.com. This is Carnival meets culture. Rhythm meets rebellion. Neon is calling. And your moment is now. Light up the night.
I jamming on the pavement with Neon. Jamming on the pavement with Red Woman. If you come to rub and shoot.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Rise and shine, Tobago. The breakfast vibes you've been waiting for is here.
When you wrong, tell you you's a big dancer.
It's time for Sun Up Tobago, the ultimate breakfast inclusive pool party that kicks off your carnival in style.
We come to take shots. She come to take shots.
Join us on Thursday, October 23rd from 6 a.m. to 12 noon at Scarborough House, 138 Milford Road. Music pumping, breakfast sizzling, coolers flowing, and vibes unmatched. This is where sun, sea, soca, and celebration collides. Get your early bird tickets now at Pablo Supermarkets, Barcode, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Signature Cuts, IslandEtickets.com, and committee members. Don't miss the event where Tobago Carnival truly begins. Sun Up Tobago. Come for the breakfast, stay for the vibe.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning we continue our conversations, and I have the privilege of sitting in studio and chatting with Assemblyman Niall George, who is the Assistant Secretary in the Division of Tourism, Culture, Transportations. And we have also with us this morning Mr. Mark London, who is the Sport Tourism Coordinator. And we are chatting all about the Dodds Diving Tournament that happened recently in Tobago, in Charlottesville to be exact. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Morning.
Right, so, starting off with the Assistant Secretary, would you say that the tournament was a success, and if so, tell us why?
Indeed, the tournament was an overwhelming success because we aren't only looking at the viewership and participation locally, but we are looking at the coverage, the marketing that we have received due to this tournament. It's still being streamed in Norway, it's still being streamed in Scandinavia, and ESPN has shown interest in showing all of the events, the Dodds events that have taken place in a couple of weeks. So even though the event has passed, it's still going to give us positive marketing going forward.
Right, because we know even if you are a viewer of ESPN, you often see tournaments, games, and things that happened maybe even a year ago.
Yeah.
So they often recycle content. Mark, for you, how important was it to, really see the manifestation of a number of the ideas as it pertains to sport tourism on the island?
Well, I mean, we usually look at traditional sports, running, cricket, football, tennis. But to really bring a non-traditional sport to Tobago, this was something really big and impactful for the people of Tobago, Dutch diving is a growing event, it's something that is really gaining traction out there internationally. And for us here in Tobago to actually be one of the hosts, country for this spectacular event was just an overwhelming success.
Right, but this particular event, this partnership was brought about through the trade initiative that took place where the Chief Secretary and the Secretary for Tourism, were there building those relationships and forming those connections. Are you able on your own, to go out and find those partnerships and bring them to Tobago as the sport tourism coordinator?
So I'd like to stop here, right? That's not how Dutch diving came about, actually. Yeah. Dutch diving came about due to us going to a sports trade show in London last year, June. So that was a 6-member team, which would have included Abina Richards, acting CEO he'd got George Leacock as the sports consultant, he got administrators Afisha McCain and Julian Skeet, and then Assistant Secretary Wayne West Clark, now Secretary of the Division of Community Development, and myself. And during that trip, so it's a forum where you meet sporting bodies, sporting organizers, and they have the events that they would like to host, and we have the position to host these events. And that's where we had conversations with over 30 bodies. So it wasn't really about the secretary and the chief secretary. It was more about us going on a trip to look at events that could be facilitated in Tobago. Because, I mean, under the tourism thrust, we have to, all of the Caribbean islands have sand. So we have to look at non-traditional ways of attracting tourists here. And Dutch diving piqued our interest because, as Mark said earlier, it's a non-traditional sport, and it's one of the fastest growing non-traditional sports in the world. So it was a perfect event to come to Tobago. It started out as being a qualifier, but when they came to do the site visit, they just fell in love with Charlottesville, fell in love with the whole reception that they received, and it was upgraded to World Championships. And I can tell you that they are buzzing, and I'd like to say a special thank you to the community of Charlottesville, because on short notice they received the Dutch diving. They thrust themselves into the participation of the diving, the hospitality, the cuisine. Paul and his team of Dutch love Charlottesville. They have been glowing about it, and they are looking forward to coming back next year. So the people of the community of Charlottesville, we want to thank you for accepting the tournament on short notice. And we are saying to you that we will keep in communication, constant communication with you all going forward for the event next year.
Understood. And there was a cricket tournament that took place as well, too, an international youth cricket tournament. Was that a part? Did that come out of that?
That one came from the chief secretary at WATM.
Okay.
But you see, when we travel, we are always looking for opportunities to bring Tobago to the fore. Travel is work. You go and you come back 10 times more tired than you go, because you have to adjust it. The time zone changes, and we are constantly, this administration is constantly on the lookout for ways to market Tobago, for ways to bring persons to Tobago, to improve room nights, improve economy. So that's what our travels are about. It's not fun and games, it's serious work.
Right. And Mark, for you, as I was stating before, are you able to find those international partnerships and connections and bring them to Tobago?
Well, it's definitely, a work in progress. We are doing, especially in my capacity now, yes, it would have times where I would have to, take those trips and, seek out the interests of Tobago, to bring events such as this. I bring that practical feel to it as well, because I could actually be one to go and take part in the diving, you know, for instance. So, I mean, all that kind of ties into, you know, what I do and what I'm able to, like I said, bring to the people of Tobago.
Right, and even in your capacity as sport tourism coordinator, do you see that department as fostering an avenue for Tobago's athletes to really bring that practical knowledge and experience into developing a holistic Tobago tourism product?
Well, like as the Assistant Secretary had mentioned before, right, we normally pitch sun, sand, sea here in Tobago, but there's, I mean, a wide market. I mean, almost 10% of sport tourism comes from, I mean, almost 10% of tourism comes from sport tourism related activities globally, you know. So, I mean, there are sport tourists that want to come to different countries to not just take part in events, but also spectate, also view historical sporting artifacts, you know. So this is definitely a market that we can tap into, and is something that, you know, I want to make knowledgeable to the younger generation here in Tobago, that there is ways that we can market Tobago, sell Tobago, not just, like I said, through sun, sand, sea, but through sports in general.
Right, and Assistant Secretary, even as you talk about tourism diversification and, you know, having that interlink with all the different sectors as it pertains to tourism, where do you see sport tourism going for Tobago in the future?
Well, sport tourism, as has been said before, it's a different avenue. And if you have looked at what we have done, we have looked at the non-traditional sports as well, which are fairly new sports and growing sports. That would give us a competitive advantage if we get involved earlier. That would present an opportunity for young persons to be the first crop, you know. So alongside tourism, it gives our youth an opportunity to be seen and perform as well. The thing about sport tourism is you bring athletes and you bring supporters. And these events usually run for a longer period of time, probably like 2 weeks time. But this one was a very short one. But the athletes would be here for at least 2 weeks, typically, and that way they would bring their families as well. What we do not see is the free positive marketing that we get, because all of those athletes that have gone back to their countries with glowing reports. I mean, some of them have promised to bring their family outside of competition. So it's not just about the sport; it's about the marketing that we get at a very cheap or no cost at all as well.
Can we look forward to any other international tournaments happening between now and next year?
We are working on some, and as the opportunities arise, some of these things you may be planning in the planning, and you would plan for a specific time, but then opportunities arise to bring them on shorter notice. So any pinpointed right now for a specific date? No, but there are always opportunities being worked on.
Mr. London, you, even as the question that I asked as it pertains to where do you see the future of sport tourism going for the island as well?
So, I mean, one thing I wanted to tap into as well is that, you know, with all these different sport tourism initiatives, right, we definitely want to tap into having the locals getting involved. So as you could see from the diving, early in the morning we had a category specifically for just the locals to get involved, take part. Even the day prior they had specific training for the locals, you know. So I mean, we want to actively get the locals involved and aware of how important sport tourism is, and for these specific events internationally as well, we want to continue to bring awareness to everyone in Tobago to just, you know, get on board, see the benefits, and, you know, take chance, take risks, and yeah, just come on board and help us grow sport tourism and make Tobago one of the greatest sport tourism destinations.
Right, and even as it pertains to the future of sport tourism for the island, you know, what is your vision for that as you are the coordinator for that particular department?
Hi, so my vision, that's a big question. So my vision for Tobago, I mean, like I said, is to make Tobago a premier sport tourism destination. So all these high-class international sporting events you see in like Saudi Arabia, America, all over Europe. I mean, we have the demographic, we have the landscape, we have the natural beauty here in Tobago. So, I mean, yeah, we can facilitate most of these events. I mean, we just need to continue to maintain our beautiful island of Tobago to host these events. But I want to see Tobago on the global stage. I mean, Dutch diving was just, you know, the first step. But I want to see, you know, much more international sporting events and organizations, you know, seek the interest to come to Tobago. Like I said, even when the athletes come, they get a feel of our culture, because before the Dutch diving event, the days prior, they took part in our local goat racing events, you know, so they get to take back much more than just what they gain from the event. They get to take back the full culture and experience of what it's like to be a Tobagonian. So,
right, and Assistant Secretary, even with that vision, there needs to be a certain class or standard to the type of facilities that are available to host these type of events. You know, even as it pertains to the investment in world-class sporting facilities, where are we as an island as it pertains to that?
So, again, I'd like to, based on my trip to teams, right? That was one of my concerns. But the thing is, most of the things that we worry about aren't what most of these people are looking for. They are, if you're hosting things like an Olympic Games and so forth, you would need those kind of facilities. But one of the things in conversations that we realize, the fact that someone can play cricket and there's a coast close to the field, or they can play cricket and then leave after the game and walk straight onto a beach, is sometimes these are the little things that those foreigners are looking for. So it's not all about the facilities. Obviously, if you look at us, per capita, we have the most facilities on island, per capita in the Caribbean. Everywhere you go, there's a field or a court, or sometimes to a detriment, because we have to maintain these things at a very high cost. And I'm saying to you that it's not always about the high-tech facility. Tourists come here, they are more interested in a slice of your culture. To me, our biggest issue, or the bigger issue, is getting persons here, because there were more persons that would have liked to come physically to support athletes at the events, but flights proved to be a problem. And if you look at tourism on the whole, you look at Carnival, you look at Great Race, you look at everything, getting tourists here is our biggest concern. We are constantly in conversations with Carl. You would hear the secretary say it every time she comes here, but it's not enough. And we, on behalf of Tobago as a whole, we are constantly asking for increased transportation to get persons here. So, as I said, in being in the conversations and in these events, you learn a lot more of what is required. And I'm telling you, we have it. A lot of people are interested in getting here. You will lose some opportunities because of not having the standard of facilities that you have, but there are much more opportunities out there.
Understood. But even as it pertains to getting local athletes up to global standard, it means therefore that they have to have at least some level of access to facilities that are on the level of that of their competitors. And this is why we've seen low performance at international tournaments and, you know, even at the Olympics, where, you know, we had negative feedback on the performance of our athletes. And we want to see more Tobagonians there. Talk to us about that, Mark.
All right, so, I mean, being a former national athlete myself, I did experience a lot of these challenges, you know, when I was pursuing my career in track and field. It's difficult because, I mean, most times Tobagonians have to go to, you know, Trinidad to utilize their facilities. If not Trinidad, they have to come outside of the Caribbean and actually go to the United States. So, I mean, this is something we can definitely continue to work on in Tobago. I mean, especially for the sake of our athletes. We have a lot of raw talent here in Tobago. I keep saying it time and time again, but you know, we just really need to invest in having the proper facilities and equipment to facilitate and nurture these young athletes to, you know, reach their full potential.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, having the allocation is one thing, but looking for sourcing alternative means of funding to get this type of thing done is also another avenue. Is that a part of the conversation, Assistant Secretary?
No, so we're stepping into another realm here. You're now stepping into a sport realm.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about sport tourism.
Just a second. But sport tourism wouldn't be responsible for building the facilities.
But these are your colleagues that you coordinate with and you talk with, and if you see that you are trying to build the sporting tourism industry, I would understand that you would also be advocating for the adequate facilities for your athletes as well as the international athletes that are coming.
Indeed, Chanel, but the thing about it is that's where sports and ComDev would have to do the intense planning and the details of that would be better vested with Secretary Clark and Morrison. But it's about we will have to utilize the facilities that we have to bring tourists here. So in terms of the planning for the facilities and so forth, that would be a sport conversation.
Right. But is this something that you want to see happen?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Definitely. You always want to see better for the island of Tobago.
Collaborative effort to make it work.
And even as, you know, pushing that agenda and continuing to have that conversation on the table and being one that advocates for that, even at the executive council level, and, you know, ensuring that that is a part of the priority.
And it is. And that's why I told you when the team went, you would have noticed that there was the Assistant Secretary of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport, as well as the Assistant Secretary for Tourism, with responsibility for sport tourism. And we constantly communicate. There's the character event coming up this weekend as well. Myself and Secretary Clark play a huge role in the background with that. So there's constant communication between the Division of Tourism and the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport in terms of where we want to see this going.
Right, and I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that there is collaboration and, you know, cross collaboration between the divisions to ensure that you meet those goals. But unfortunately, we've come to the end of our discussion here this morning. You know, there's so much more we can touch on, but unfortunately, we are out of time. But we want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning, and we want to say congratulations on a successful diving tournament here in Tobago. And we look forward to the next 2 years of them being here and it being even bigger than the first year, because we know everyone who missed it the first year is gonna now try to be rushing up to Charlottesville. So we hope that all the logistics are well placed to ensure that Charlottesville is able to handle even greater traffic next time around.
And before we go, I would like to say a special thank you to everyone that played a part in the success of the Dutch diving event, from the volunteers to the planning team, each and everyone that was a part of the success. I say thank you.
Excellent.
I mean, I would also like to say my thank yous, you know, to the entire team, you know, that actually helped to get this off the ground and, you know, be successful. I mean, EID Cut, ComDev, I mean, everyone, just everyone. I just want to thank everyone, the locals who hosted and fostered this. I mean, yeah, that's just me.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back with much more conversations right after this. See you soon.
All day we beating road. All day I beating road. All day we beating road.
Bang bang. Yours truly Juby representing for Neon, a tribal affair by Highlighter Entertainment. We are here.
Tobago, are you ready? Highlighter Entertainments, Neon, a tribal affair. Costume sales are live. Register now at highlighterentertainment.com. This is Carnival meets culture. Rhythm meets rebellion. Neon is calling. And your moment is now. Light up the night.
I'm jamming on the pavement with Neon.
Hair goals, we've got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979438.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's week in review right here on 116. Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning I have the privilege of sitting and chatting right here in studio with the Acting Divisional Fire Officer, Lisa Hamilton. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, and good morning to Tobago.
Well, it's a privilege to have you here, and this morning we are chatting about your book, The Pioneers 30 and Beyond. Tell us a bit about that book.
That book came about because the first 30 women that were ever enlisted in Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, and I was part of that. So I have the privilege of, as I tell people that are in my life, I'm a walking history of what took place in Trinidad and Tobago when we were first enlisted.
Right, and so before your time, you know, the service was predominantly male, and you were part of that first batch of females that entered the service. Tell us why it's important to preserve this type of history, and how does the book account for this history?
Well, First, to begin with, history, people feel history is something so boring, and I'm trying to bring some life to it, right? And being the first, and we are still alive, we just want to show Tobago and even the world that we are here, and we continue to press on in this service, because there are a few of us remain, approximately 7 of us remain in the service right now. And we still want to show the world that we are here, we are working hard, and we continue to carry on the legacy of the first 30 women that were ever enlisted in Tobago Fire Service.
And where can persons access this book?
I have a few copies personally and from my publishers, but they are in the United States, and we know of the tax situation right now. So in Indiana, my book was published.
Right. Is it available on Amazon for persons to purchase the book online?
Well, it used to be a long time, because since 2007 this book was written. So
it's still available on Amazon?
It is still available. You can source it online as well, yeah.
Right. And is it available at the library in Tobago?
Yes, Tobago Library has a few copies, thanks to former Chief Secretary Orville London. He had purchased a number of copies for the Tobago libraries.
Excellent. Yes. And, tell us why it's important for persons to have a copy of this book and just understand the history of women in the service.
First, to begin with, to show young ladies, young girls, young women in Tobago that we can do it. We can get into these jobs that are male-dominated. We have the capabilities and the abilities to join the service, to train, to learn how to function. We have the capacity, and we are here to carry forward this service.
Right, and tell us, does this book also target or enhance the capabilities or the understanding of current female service officers within the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service?
With every job, it have its problems, and I think that being there, being the first, and we can see how things took place before, and to continue forward how things are happening, we have a voice and we can see how things transpired and how things should be, and especially with the backdrop of women being in these organizations that are male-dominated, it must have situations happening, yeah? But we are here, and I must say that I want certain things to still carry forward with the respect and how the job was when we came in. It was a tough situation. It was like trial and error. But we try our best to function, because we know on the backdrop of that, we are maintaining Trinidad and Tobago as service personnel going forward. And this is so dear to me, and I really feel it, because especially how things are changing. I know they talk about the new generation, the millennial, how they call them, but we still want to show you that history is important to know how things were and where we can go forward in the future.
Tell us why it's so important for you to now, this book was not just published yesterday, this book was published in 2007. Why is it important for you to be promoting this book even in 2025?
Well, I must say I was given the opportunity by Mr. Wood at this studio here, Tobago Updates, and he was surprised to know that I had a publication so many years ago. So he was intrigued by that, and he wanted me to come back in the studio to speak about it. And I must say the importance of it to show, as I said before, young girls and young women that we can enlist in this sort of service and have a career, because this year, the 1st of December, I'll be making 33 years in Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. And that is something dear to me. And I must say I appreciated the fact that Trinidad and Tobago gave us a chance, gave us this opportunity in this male-dominated environment.
Right. And, even as you have been a part of the service, is this the first time ever that there's no independence period?
Well, apart of COVID.
Outside of COVID.
That I can recall, yes, the first time. Yeah.
Right. And, that in itself is history. Do you think that this is a time period or, that you would be writing about in the future?
I'm not sure, but these days, especially from last year, I gravitated to try to write poems and so forth and to express myself that way. And I must say that when I joined the fire service back in 1992 to 1993, it was so overwhelming with writing, because I was not a writer. I never believed that I would have been writing anything at all. But when we had to sit down and write a lot of entries on the Century Post, I was like taken aback about that. And I said, nah, I had to get down and get serious about this and write and write my entries on really a great number of entries to be written. And especially sometimes if the guys go out on the truck and they spend the whole day out there, you are faced with this Century from 9 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So it was a lot of writing, and I was intrigued by it, and I got myself into it and started to attend classes and so forth. And then I got into the association, the Tobago Fire Service Second Division Association. They gave me a break at academics. They enlisted me in doing the program Labor Studies, the associate degree. That was the highest level at the Cipriani Labor College at the time. And I was one of the participants from the association who was able to do that course.
Excellent. And, even as we round up our discussions this morning, how important is it for females within the Trinidad and Tobago, whether it be the Defense Force, the police, the Air Guard, Coast Guard, Fire Service, to really find their passions and their drive and their purpose outside of the service, as you have done with your many writings and the other things that you have involved yourself in? How important is it for them to build that area of their personal development?
Well, first to begin with, I will tell ladies, women, have time management. You see, time management that is important, and find a niche, find something that you can do that you like. Because with writing, I'm passionate about a lot of things. I plant garden, I sell my lettuce in Scarborough with my mother, and I also rear broilers, and I also continue doing studies because I've since been able to have a master's as well. I went to the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, where I attained a master's in education, health promotion. So that's one thing. I try to balance my life. So I'll tell people, balance your life. Find things that you like to do. Even if it's to go to church, be in some group in the church, do something. Find something that is you. Don't let anybody else tell you what you can do. You find what you can do. Yeah? So I don't know if I'll be given opportunity. I have a poem for Tobago.
Yes,
I'll be able to do that.
Yes, even as we close, you can definitely close with that.
All right. I just put it together because the way I'm so passionate about Tobago, when I went to training, I must say I got homesick about leaving Tobago to go to Trinidad to train. It had impacted so much on me, but I still have Tobago so dear in my heart. So can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
So I put this thing together from last week. I hope Tobago receives it well. So it's about Tobago's Tobago-ness. I always say Tobago have this Tobago-ness. We are so unique and different, but let me go. Who say Tobago, Tobago, sweet Tobago? You mean Tobago's Tobago-ness. Every year she becomes more beautifulness. Through slavery, wardship, and colonialism, she remains more bountiful. Her Tobago-ness keeps her clean, beautiful, green, and serene. Oh, we can all dream. But they say our future are in the hands of them youths. Let's tell them about our strong men and women without refute, who grace the shores of this 116 square miles land. From APT James, A.N.R. Robinson, Dr. Murray, Chairman Dinoon Hochoy, and London. Morgan Job, Kenneth Bob, Cynthia Alfred, Patrick Arnold, John Arnold, Michael Duncan Happy, Dr. Easton Mackenzie, Lord Nello, Roll Bacchus, Calypso Rose, Sherwin Winchester, Cecil Caruth, Cecil Dalrymple, Dwight York, National Norbert, Merson Bartlett, Dr. Bobby Andrews, and Commissioner Hercules. Preservation is key. Perseverance is real. Heritage, sports, culture, and academics is the cream. Let's keep Tobago together as she remains pure and more beautiful for the future. Her unique Tobago-ness will reign till the master. And I must say some notable mentions to me. With getting here, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service Second Division Association, and persons who enhanced my life, Mr. Justin Bowen, Mr. Leslie Skeet, Dr. Timothy Afonso, Sir Eden Charles, Sir Marcus, and I must say that Trinidad and Tobago under 21 netball team, let's lend support to them. They'll be going to Gibraltar come 19 September to the 28th September.
Excellent.
And
Well, we want to thank you guys. You heard it here, right? Off of the lips of the acting divisional fire officer, Lisa Hamilton. Good morning again to you. I want to thank you so much for coming and, showcasing your work that you have done, but also giving us a piece of your heart through your literature. And we hope that you would, find ways to preserve this. And we look forward to your other writings that has to do with your compilation of poems. Guys, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
Wake up and hear me neighbor, 60,000 people strong.